Hello. Today, I thought I'd bring you guys into my practice room, and this happens to be the same room that I normally film in. And so, yeah, I'm just gonna practice today. I have been learning a Bach sonata in C major. Might as well get the name right. Yeah, so it's the sonata number 3 in C major. I'm learning the Allegro Assai. Guess that's how you say that. And it's 3 pages long, so it's been in the process for a while. There will be a video of it at some point whenever I get to that point of being able to play it, but a lot of people don't know that there is a right way to practice and a wrong way to practice. Practice makes all the difference, and not just the amount of time that you practice, but the quality of your practice really matters. So I thought I'd bring you into my practice room today, show you kind of my process, what it looks like for me when I'm practicing a piece like this, trying to get it ready to record. So before we get into the video, don't forget to hit that like button down below because that really helps me out. And let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is just play through the whole thing. I'm at the point where I've been practicing this for a couple weeks, not super studiously, but on and off, and I've almost got it memorized, almost there. There might be a couple places where I'm not quite there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play it all the way through with the metronome. Now that's super important. I'm gonna play it through with the metronome. Whether I feel like it or not, metronome is great. And even if I wanna add some phrasing and maybe some slowdowns or some speed ups in the song, I'm still gonna practice it with the metronome now. That way I can make sure that it's steady. And what I'm gonna do as I play through this is mentally, I'm gonna take note of any place that I mess up, any place that I struggle with, any place that doesn't sound good. I'm gonna take a mental note of that so that I can go back to those places after I'm done with the initial run through. Okay, so kind of just take inventory of how that went. For me, that did not go as well as I was hoping, but that is okay. So one of the biggest things that you can do in your practice time to maximize the time that you have is, I think it's totally okay to play through the whole song at first because you got to know what you need to work on. But after you've done that, don't start back over and play through the whole thing again hoping that it's going to be better, because it's probably not. So it's much better to use that time to go, oh, okay, I messed up here, this part's hard, coordination was off here, that didn't speak well, and go through and work on those little sections. And like for me, there's a couple places on the first page where I noticed that I need to work on those. There's some string changes with the pick that I need to work on. So instead of playing through it hoping that it's better, I'm gonna stop, I'm gonna sit in that measure, and I'm gonna play through it a couple times, work it out, go slowly, practice it slowly, work up the speed to the speed that I was playing the whole thing at, get it cleaner, and then move on to my next practice spot, my next measure that I had trouble with, and do the same thing. The other thing that I'm trying to think about as I'm spot practicing is to just stay as relaxed as possible. It's hard to do, but you have to consciously force yourself to relax. And sometimes even in my practice, even though I haven't even been practicing that long, I might just relax for a second, breathe, just make sure that everything is relaxed. A lot of times I'll put my hands down by my side, give them a nice little shake, bring them back, that way we release any tension and start fresh. The other thing that I'll work on specifically right now with where I'm at with this song is there were a couple moments where I did not do very well with my memory. I did not get it quite right. I had to pause and really think hard about what comes next. And so after I've spot practiced, I'm going to also work on the memorization of it. So I'm going to go back to those places where I didn't quite have it memorized. And for me, what really helps, and probably what I'm going to do, is play through those lines or those measures a whole bunch of times just to get it under my fingers really well. And then I'm going to take the music away, see if I can still do it. That normally helps me, especially because I've been working on memorizing this for a little bit, and so I'm familiar with it, but I didn't quite make it when I played it all the way through. So I'm just going to repetitively repeat it, play it a whole bunch, really get it in my fingers, under my fingers, and then take the music away, see if I can still do it. So I have thoroughly spot practiced all of the areas in this song that I had trouble with. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the whole thing once more with the metronome at the same speed. I'm not going to speed up. I'm going to keep it at the same speed that I originally played it at and see how I fare and if those areas are better. Well, that definitely, okay, there were definitely parts of that were better for me. There were parts that I had worked on that I got through. They were a lot cleaner. I didn't have to pause before them. Some of the memorization was a lot better this time around. There were still a couple places that I messed up, and one of them, no, two of, this song gets long. I think a couple of them were some of the same places. So what that means is now those are going to be especially targeted areas in my practice. So I know that, okay, this place for whatever reason is really tripping me up. It did not get solved by one time of spot practice. So that means that I need to be more targeted with that. And probably what I'm going to do is mark that place in my music. And then next time I go to practice, I'm going to start with that spot. That way I make sure that I am practicing those multiple times, practicing those more than I practice the other places. And I might actually go back and spot practice those a little bit more right now. The last thing that I'm going to do in my practice is work on speed. So specifically with this, I don't have necessarily a goal speed, but I know I want it faster than this. I definitely know I want it faster than this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bump up that metronome. And I know it's not going to be perfect. I know that I'm probably going to make some mistakes, and that's okay. But my goal for this part of my practice is just to work on that speed, is just to push myself to go faster than I've played it before. And I know it's not going to be perfect, but that's okay. It's okay if I take pauses, because again, I'm just trying to get used to playing this a little bit fast. And the main thing, the thing to really keep in mind, especially when you're pushing yourself for speed, is relaxation. Yes. So that wasn't too fast. I mean, I could still play through it at at a decent clarity, with decent quality. It wasn't just blazingly fast where I couldn't keep up. But I'm pushing myself. I haven't ever played it all the way through that fast before, and so next time I'll play it through a little bit faster. And I normally like to have it memorized fully before I start working on speed, because it's just hard to try to be looking at the music and try to be working on your speed. Those two things are hard to do. So normally, learn the song, memorize it, then work on speed. But I think I'm gonna be done for today. There are so many other helpful, practical practice tips that we could talk about. So if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments down below. I do have a video of practice tips for you guys as well. Some of the most beneficial practice tips that I've received and that I have implemented into my practice that really changed the game when it comes to your practice time. So I'll have that linked down below if you want to check that out. But thank you guys, as always, so much for watching, and subscribe if you want to see content like this every single week, and I will see you guys in my next video.